near alcohol, and alcohol caught the ball and put Noah out of the game. Well, here comes old Abraham up to bat for the Lord's team. Abraham hit a pop-up, but Lai was playing the position of shortstop, and Lai put Abraham out of the game. But here comes old King David up to bat for the Lord's team, and strike one was the call. Strike two, strike three, you're out, because adultery was doing the pitching, and adultery put David out of the game. Well, I see the Lord's family going out there next on the field. I see the Lord setting his defense up. He put Grace on first base, Mercy on second, Salvation on third. He put Patience in left center field. He put Understanding in right center field. Faith was playing a shortstop, and Love was doing the pitching. Well, here comes old Temper up to bat for Satan's family, and Temper hit it long and to the left, but Patience was out there waiting on that ball, and Patience put Temper out of the game. Well, here comes old Doubt up to bat for Satan's family. You know, doubt has caused many of God's children to walk away from the faith. Oh, doubt has caused them to stay home when they need to be at worship service. Oh, doubt has caused husbands to walk away from their wives, and wives to be in illicit relationships from their husband. Here come old Doubt with his big bad self up to bat for Satan's team, but he hit a pop-up, and Faith caught the ball, and Faith put Doubt out of the game. Well, here comes old Hate up to bat for Satan's family. You know, Hate is a big bad boy. He got a sure enough tough record, even amongst the children of God. Hate is no stranger amongst us. Hate will cause you to walk past me and not open your mouth. Hate will cause you to walk out the side door so that you have to shake my hand. Oh, Hate is a bad boy. And Hate was standing up there at the Baptist Mound, and strike one was the call. Strike two, strike three, you're out, because Love was doing the pitching, and Love put Hate out of the game. Then here we come to the third and final inning of this game, and Satan is back on the outfield. I see Satan changing up his defense. He puts Death on first base. He puts Hell on second. He puts the grave on third. Pain and suffering in left center field. He puts suicide in right center field. He put agony as the shortstop, and Satan himself decided to do the pitching. Well, I see old Stephen up to bat for the Lord's team, and Stephen hit it to the far right, but Death was playing first base, and Death put Stephen out of the game. Well, I see old Judas up to bat for the Lord's team, and Judas hit it hard and out there to the right, but Suicide caught the ball, and Suicide put Judas out of the game. Well, it's looking pretty bad here, y'all. We got 2 outs, and it's the last inning of this game. Who is it that has the power to win this victory over death, hell, and the grave? Who is it that has the ability to step up to the plate and to cause God's children to have a victory at the last inning of the game? It can't be Moses, because when God told Moses to speak to the rock, Moses decided to hit it, and because of that he didn't make it to the promised land. It can't be King David, because King David committed adultery and then had the woman's husband killed to cover up his illicit affair. It can't be Samson, because he loved too many women and got a bad haircut at the wrong barbershop. Who is it that is able to help us get the victory over this game? I see one that has eyes like flaming fire, and somebody in heaven who's got feet like polished brass, got Lord of Lords on one side and King of Kings on the other. It's none other than Jesus himself, and he steps up to bat. When the Lord steps on the batter's mound and Satan sees him, he starts to reach back into his bag of tricks and start throwing some trick balls. The first ball he threw was called late one Friday night, and strike one was the call. Well, he threw another ball, and this was a Saturday night special. Strike two was the call. We got 2 outs and we got 2 strikes, and this is the last inning of this game. But lo and behold, don't you ever count God out. Lo and behold, when it seems like we're down to nothing, that's when God is up to something. This time Satan threw the ball, and it was called early one Sunday morning. Crack went the bat, a home run was ran, and God gave us the victory over death, hell, and the grave. That's why Paul said, be ye steadfast, unmovable, and always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. I wouldn't be outside the Lord. I need to be inside the Lord. And to be inside the Lord is to be on the right team. To be on the right team is to be in the church of Christ. It's the only church that you can read about in the Bible. It's the only church that you can find in here that God adds all of the saved once they're saved. Ain't no church in the world like the Church of Christ. That's the only one. That's the only one. That's the only one God got. I don't care how much philosophy you throw up in here.
All right.
God ain't got but one.
Yes, sir.
I don't care how much reason you throw up in here. God doesn't have but one.
All right.
He had one ark. That ark was a type of the church.
That's right, sir.
It was a type of the church. It foreshadowed what God would do, because God had a vessel of safety under the old, and he has a vessel of safety up under the new, and it's the church. God only had one ark. Why is it so hard for us to believe that God only has one church? God only had one tabernacle. God only had one temple. God only had one place, but his soul had to come to worship. I read Acts chapter 8. Look at the account of that Ethiopian eunuch.
Yeah.
Coming all the way from Ethiopia to Jerusalem. Why was he coming way from Ethiopia to Jerusalem? Because when folk worshiped God up under the Old Testament, they could only go where God had recorded his name. God put his name in Jerusalem. So the only place they could worship was in Jerusalem. This man drove all the way by chariot. Wasn't no AirTran, wasn't no Delta, wasn't no American Airlines. Follow me? Wasn't no AAA. This man was riding a chariot from Ethiopia to Jerusalem so that he could worship. And on his way back, on his way back,
Come on, preacher.
the Spirit sent Philip to go and to join himself to that chariot. Got folk out here talking about the Spirit came to them in a dark room and told them that they were doing wrong. The Spirit told them, if you want to be right with the Lord, just say yes, Lord. And they said yes, Lord. And they were right with the Lord. That's a devil's lie.
That's right.
It's according to Acts chapter 8. The Spirit didn't talk to the man who needed to be saved. The Spirit talked to the preacher man and told the preacher man to go to the man